Hi guys and welcome to Faewood. Now it's a little bit of a different intro this time because we are doing something very different today. We've been doing a lot of work around the house over the Christmas and holiday period. We need to do a lot of renovations and so forth to the house, and there's been a project that I've wanted to do for a while, but the weather just hasn't been great until now. So I'm going to take you over to see a project that I have had on my list that I figured I would share with you guys and make it into a video at the same time. So excuse the messy deck that we have out here. We've been getting rid of, you might be able to see up there, these plastic sheets. We've kind of cut them off at the moment and my husband's going to be taking them down. I call them spider catchers because basically that's all they're good for at the moment. They catch a lot of spiders. So it is a bit of a mess out here, so please excuse all of that. Now I'm going to show you this. I have already cleaned this up a fair bit. I will be perfectly honest. It was even worse than this. I probably should have filmed it beforehand to give a bit more of a over the top, you know, before and after situation, but I was busy just trying to get things done, so I didn't think about it at the time. But let me show you. Alright, so I don't know how much you can see of that, but behind me is a water feature. It used to be kind of a water feature, now it's a bit more of a dried out weed feature, if anything. But basically it needs some love and I want to do a mural on the front of it, but before I even get to that point it needs a lot of cleaning out. And this is after I've, like I said, I have cleaned this out a little bit already, but it needs a lot more. Now, as you can see, we've got rocks falling out. We've got this big boulder sticking right out. It looks pretty terrible. So I want to hopefully fix this up with some concrete, put some of the rocks back, maybe even get a few more rocks to make it solid and firm that up a bit more. Up here, I want to clear out all of this. This part's a little weird. I don't know what I'm doing about that yet. It does sort of have rocks and then this face. It's always been that way though. I don't know if I can even do anything about that, but maybe fill it up with rocks. Over here we have this old stump that needs to come out. My husband thinks he can probably push that out, or if not, cut it. So I'm really looking forward to that being gone. The rocks here as well look messy. There's obviously all sorts of junk and debris that needs to go, and just general clear out and everything. So I've got my work cut out for me. There's literally nothing holding this together except dirt. I know, I'm going to be covered in dirt.
Hope you don't get bitten on the spot again.
Oh god, I hope not.
The bull ants, they like your bottom.
Hiding duck. Okay, now we've cleared out heaps of this. Best I can do, I think. We've decided not to clear anymore because, I don't know, we're worried that if I clear too much that the actual insert part, this plastic and everything, might come loose or something. I'm not sure how strong it is. So we do have like the pump and it goes under here. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah. So it's got like a plug system that they've put there. I wasn't sure what to do with that, but I've managed to get it out of the way, and I think I'll just leave a few rocks up here that I don't mortar in, that you can just pull out of place when you need to access things, and mortar the rest of it. We've got a pile of rocks here. I might need to go and find some more rocks because I don't think this is going to be enough to fill up this area because it really wasn't that full before. So I probably will have to go searching for some rocks, but I can at least start with these, get my mortar mixed up and see if I can get this sort of patched up and looking halfway reasonable. building up this wall. I was using a mortar before and then I ran out of that, so I'm trying cement instead. It was a lot cheaper, and I'm going to try and smooth the rock face out a bit. I might need to go find some more rocks because I don't know that I quite have enough to fill this up. So I'm going to use what I have left. Then I'm going to have to go on a bit of a rock expedition around the house and see if I can find some more. I mixed my cement up to sort of a, I don't know, peanut buttery kind of consistency so that I can work with it a bit. I'm going to try once it's sort of drying a little bit to smooth it a little bit with a sponge. It can have some bulges in it, is fine as long as it's like smooth bulges, if that makes sense, so that I can put a mosaic on it. So yeah. My husband managed to get out this stump that was sitting over there. He didn't want to be filmed, otherwise I would have filmed the process, but he basically used a big pry bar to get the thing out. It's just like a rotten stump of a tree that was in there since we've been here. Glad to have that gone. I had to just fill it up with a bit of dirt, and now I can actually start working on that side as well. I just wanted to get a bit of concreting done. It's meant to rain tomorrow and I've been at work all day, so I've got a little bit of time tonight to get some concreting done before the rain comes tomorrow. So I figure I'll get in while the getting's good. It's getting there. Still a lot of rocks and cementing to do. You might be thinking, why am I back in my studio? And I must admit, it's because the neighbours are actually quite close to us on the side where I'm actually doing the mosaic, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be talking to a camera with them. We do have other people that live on this street and that sort of thing, but on one side is like National Park, but on the other side we have neighbours and their driveway is just like really close to this water feature. So anyway, I was like, oh, I could film out here and cut up the tiles and blah blah blah, but it would just be so awkward, and also Dan wants to do some angle grinding stuff out there, so that's why we're here. Basically, I've been spending the last, I don't know how many weeks, it feels like forever, just trying to repair this water feature first so that it's ready for a mosaic. So I didn't even film half of it because there was just a lot to do. I can't count the number of buckets that I went back and forth with the cement, or concrete, I don't know, cement, concrete. I keep forgetting which one's which. I think it's cement that I'm using. Dan keeps correcting me and I keep forgetting. And I think concrete has the rocks in it. Hashtag expert. No idea what I'm doing, but basically I thought I would come up here. I don't know how to cut a tile. I have not done it before. This is the first time I'll be doing it, and we are going to mess around with the tiles that I have and see what we can do. Alright, so these are the tiles that I have. I got these from Bunnings. They were 90 cents each, and I figured this would be a good way to get some tiles for the mosaic. You can buy mosaic tiles, and in fact Bunnings has them as well. And I think the packets of mosaic tiles were like, I want to say $9, $8-9 or something, and I didn't feel like the coverage you would get out of those packets were anywhere near what you could get for the same price by buying tiles and cutting them yourself. Obviously there's the convenience of not having to cut them, so there is that if you don't want to do that. But I did buy a couple of like tile cutting things, and failing that I figured I could also try smashing a tile up. Might be a good way to get out some frustrations potentially. I have had a really bad run of symptoms lately, so I have a lot of frustrations to get out. Before I ramble on too long, because I do tend to do that, as you guys know, and sometimes you remind me, I'm going to bring you guys down onto the table and we are going to mess around with some tile cutting options. Alrighty, so this is the colour palette that I'm working with. I just grabbed one of each tile. I've got a lot more tiles than this, but I just grabbed enough to sort of play around with it, show you the colour scheme we're working with. I do also have these glass bits as well that I picked up and figured they might be good just for some accents, so we could potentially use those in the design. But right now, all I want to do is work out how to cut them. So I've got this tile grinder, I keep wanting to say scribbler, and I think the idea with this one is you can just like make your slice somewhere and then break the tile in some way. And then I also have some tools. I bought this kit off of Amazon. It was like a tile cutting set, basically, all the stuff you need to do tiling, and I figured this could be really helpful. So I've got this little nibbler tool, which will hopefully be helpful. I don't know if I need to scribe it and then use this, or I can just cut it. We'll play around and we'll find out. And then I've got this tool here, so it's got the blades, and I think the idea, it's similar to the scribe thing, but it's got a blade on each side and you sort of run it up and down. We're going to play around with all of this and see what we can do. That kit, by the way, also came with other things like a scraping tool and little things for you to like pick up the little tiles, and a sponge when you're doing the grout. So it's got like all the bits and pieces that you might need. If I can find that one that I bought, I'll link to that in case anyone's interested in that one. I'm going to put some eyeglasses on just in case bits of tile, you know, go into my eyes, because you definitely want to be careful. And then we're going to play around with these tiles. Alright, I'm going to try this one first. I'm scared. I'm picturing all of the people that do mosaics like screaming at the screen right now about probably all of the things I'm doing wrong or about to do wrong. I'm trying. Alright, let's see how this goes. I don't understand. You can't like, there's not enough room to sort of get in there, you know? I can go in a little bit, and then there's no room for this to keep like rolling across. In my head, I pictured this kind of rolling across the whole tile in a length. That doesn't seem possible. So then what is this for? I feel like I need to look this up. I don't know. It's showing like really tiny tiles being cut with this, so maybe that's the idea. But then like they'd have to be so small. It hits that. There's like a little guard on it that it's hitting. I don't know if you can even see it in the camera, but it's hitting that and then stopping. You know, I almost feel like these two can only do small tiles. Like they're sort of pretty similar, but just a different way of doing it. Alright, I think we'll try the scribe. I can already feel you guys like yelling at the screen like I'm doing it wrong. I think I'm right in thinking that these can only do cutting off little bits, little nibbles. Maybe I'll try cutting off a little corner. Oh, holy cow. I mean, that scares the crap out of me. But it did nibble off that little corner, so, I mean, I guess it works. For cutting off small bits, it works. It's not easy. You've really got to put a fair bit of pressure on it. Alright, let's try this scribe, and I'm going to see if we can do any better with that. It's got instructions, which I feel I need at this point. After scoring a clean line across the tile, snap the tile down over a fulcrum. I will be honest and say I don't know what a fulcrum is. It says i.e. matchstick or nail. I still am not sure what they mean by that. I'll have to look that up. I'm going to use, I think, a tile to like draw against. Make sure I really score that as best as I can. Not sure if that's enough, but I've scored it. Now I need to look up what a fulcrum is. I feel like that's something out of like Harry Potter. Alright, for anyone like me who doesn't know what a fulcrum is, it is the point at which a bar or something that is balancing is supported or balances. There you go. The more you know. So now I'm like racking my brain as to what I can use as this fulcrum. Maybe the edge of a table could work, but I would have to bang down on the tile somehow. Yeah, so did not cut on the line. Not at all. It broke. So far, this is a train wreck, guys. I don't know what's going on, but these tools are not helping me. Well, guys, I think we're cooking with gas. We've worked it out. I forgot I had this metal block. It's actually for when you want to hammer metal and stuff. The scorer, it sort of works. It's a little bit difficult. Like you can score it and sometimes get it to cut on that line that you did. But it is a bit difficult. It doesn't necessarily always work. So I'm not sure what I think about this one yet, but I did work out this one. So I was saying how there's this metal part that's in the way, but what I realized was that's there because you've got to put your tile in on an angle. I will say this is difficult to use, and I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but we found that like not trying to roll it across the tile, but just like slowly kind of nibbling at it across the line that you want to cut seems to work okay. Again, it's not a perfect science, and it might just take some practice to get like exactly the cuts that you want. I feel like I know enough now to start breaking up some tiles. Oh, also I'm just putting this bit of leather over the top when I do some of the hits so that the pieces don't go flying everywhere. I am still wearing my glasses and everything like that to make sure they don't go in my eye, but I don't want to find like bits of tile all around my studio. So Alright guys, I am ready to start the mosaic. Well, as ready as I'm going to be anyway. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do for the mosaic. I don't have a picture planned out just because I'm not sure how far each of the colours of tile will last me. So planning out a design is kind of tricky. So I think I'm going to just keep it kind of freeform, kind of like a pattern, something like that. Or blocks of colour potentially. I'll just sort of play around. Plus the surface of it is like wobbly, I guess. You know, so when you have a look at the surface, it's not straight. It's not like I can just do any sort of design on that. It has to really form around those shapes there, which is why I'm like, maybe I'll just do a pattern. Now I need to mix up this tile adhesive. I decided to use this. It actually says you can use it for mosaics, which is why I got it. I was like, oh great. It's in the description that it's perfect for mosaics, so let me just go with that. I've got some tiles that I brought down and glass bits. Anyway, that's where we're at, and I'm going to set you guys up and we are going to just start mosaicing? Mosaicing? Doing a mosaic. That's what I've got so far, and what I'm realizing is that the tile adhesive that's like around the tiles is really hard, which I should have expected, but the problem being I should have really tiled right up to the edge of that, which I nearly did, but there's a little bit overlapping, which is going to get in the way of the tiles that I put on. So I'll have to be careful about that next time and make sure I only put it exactly where I'm actually going to put a tile. Slowly getting there. little guy. I don't know where he's come from. He almost looks like the same colour as the mosaic. Well guys, I'm going to leave it there because this has been such a massive project. I didn't anticipate how big this would be. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks of working on this thing. The mosaic itself took a really long time, even though it's just a pattern. It just took a really long time to do. And so, yeah, I'm going to leave it just at this, but I am going to be doing more work on this water feature. I have cleared out a fair bit of stuff, but it needs to be filled up with water. But we also need to find the lights and the pump, which have been overgrown. So I want to do that. I want to clear out all of this up here. I'd like to put maybe a statue in the middle or something like that to make it look really cool. And I am planning to do mosaic. As you can see, I've started on this side, but it just took me so long to do the other one that I just can't wait to sort of release this video. But let me know if you want to see a part 2 to this and see where it goes, because like there's a whole bit up there that water comes down apparently. I say apparently, I did see it at one time when we first moved in, but it's just overgrown and I can't even remember what it looks like, so I need to do all of that. So anyway, so that's where I'm going to leave off. Yeah, again, let me know if you want to see a part 2, because there's a lot of work that I need to do for this. But I just thought I'd better release a video for you guys because it's been a while. Hit subscribe if you want to see more from me. And for the rest of you, I'll see you next time in Faewood. Bye guys.